Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tenax series, season number 5, week number 2 matchup here. My name is Soren. Joining me on the desk today is Flaylin. Flaylin, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, It's a great Sunday, or I guess whatever time it is for anyone out there. It's a great day to watch some Valorant.
Yeah, absolutely. Great day to watch some amazing Valorant at that, as we have the matchup between Ink Bloom and Evolved Monarchs. One team being 0-1, Ink Bloom, meanwhile, Exolved Monarchs are 1-0. We are going to be going into Ascent here. A lot of interesting map picks. Flail, run through them for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, so as you talked about starting off, we're going to be with Ink Bloom's pick on Ascent, where Exolved Monarchs are going to be starting on attack. Following up, we're going to Lotus, which is Monarch's pick, where Ink Bloom are going to be starting on attack. And then the decider today is on Haven, with Ink Bloom starting on attack. So it's a pretty good lineup for today.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's actually a lot of interesting points about this lineup here because last week, as I mentioned, Exalted Monarchs 1-0. Both of these teams actually had the exact same round counts for their games, 13-11 and 13-4. And the Ascent map was where Exalted Monarchs 13-4'd another team in the tournament. So they're going to be feeling really good going into that map. Meanwhile, that was the decider for Ink Bloom. So they're going to be feeling a little comfortable, but obviously not having a game played yet. I definitely think it's going to be a little worrying. The rest of the maps, though, I really think if there's a map that Ink Bloom are going to pick up here confidently, it might be Lotus. I do worry about Haven, though, and we'll get into that if we actually get to game number 3. But yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I definitely think personally I'm leaning towards Exalted Monarchs coming out of this on top, but I think it's going to be a very close affair. And that being said, I think we are going to be going into agent select here in just a couple of seconds. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Ascent is a very, almost, I hate to say it, but solved map, where a lot of times you're going to see the same 5 or 6 agents every single time. And this looks, I mean, from Exolved, I'm seeing exactly who I would expect. KO, Killjoy, Jet, Sova, Omen. But, the Vice, Vice is newer, so I haven't seen as much of that. But, Soren, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that Vice and Chamber Sentinel, double Sentinel setup from Ink Bloom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now it is not the meta, but it's absolutely a rising meta, this double sentinel. Right now, Killjoy, I think, is the go-to, which is what we are seeing out of this attacking side here of Exalted Monarchs. Okay, a big push up through mid. A lot of aggression.
Yeah, Paranoia flies through, lets the first blood go to Emmy. All right, a bit of a back off here, but Monarchs have pretty much secured at the cost of one body that mid area, but a second one falls. Sayori also gone down. That's their Jet, their space maker. They're gonna, but now it's all sort of settled down. Some shots towards the backside.
Right here.
Oh, the double swing. Oh, they think they know he's there. Madeline, the last one standing. Nope, never mind. Pangolin has to try and make something happen on 1 versus 3. The Ghost is ready. First headshot goes down onto Rose. They need to get Spike, though. They are smoked off in a bit of a hopeless situation. Immediately gone down. They're facing a high-low. 30 seconds on the clock here.
30 seconds left.
Smoke is going down. The 1 versus 2. Shots not landing. The headshot, but not enough. First round of Ink Bloom.
Gun here.
Absolutely. And I do like the idea there from EXO. I mean, the push up through mid, this is one of those maps where mid aggression and space taking is just super valuable, and you do need to do it. And, pack mentality, especially during pistol rounds, is very favorable. But just because of the composition of the side of Ink Bloom, the double sentinel sitting over on B, so they're very secure, which means that A is able to triple stack, especially in these pistol rounds. While they gave up that mid space, it meant they were just able to collapse in on them. And that was kind of what decided the round super early. It was just a numbers advantage. But that being said, it looks like A hit is going to be the choice for EXO, but they're going to be running right into that Ares.
Lena doesn't get the nano swarm down, and the nade. Oh no. 1-for-1 pick there. Great on an eco round, but here comes the flood. Straight onto A site. InCBloom now have to try and make something happen. Monarchs might be able to pick up the Ares over by boxes.
Spike planted.
They have to watch out for Bubblegum on this Heaven Peak. Rose deciding to swing into 3, gets torn apart, and now Frostallion has to run for their life.
Absolutely, the numbers swap
underneath.
into their favor.
Emmy sniffs it out, gets a second. Pangolin quick with an equalizer, 2 versus 2. Stuck on the defuse, gets it off. Oh my goodness. Somehow the Monarchs come out on top.
Gun here.
Absolutely, and it's off of a very heavy investment from both teams. Both are going to be feeling the wallets a little light here, as I think it was a full Stinger investment coming out from Exolved Monarchs. Meanwhile, InCBloom did buy multiple rifles. So the fact that they lose that round definitely does hurt. It does mean that a couple of them are going to be locked in with just the sheriffs. While there is it's not a perfect buy, but it's mostly rifles, some guardians, and a bulldog, it looks like. But it is rifles across the board for the side of Exolved. It's mostly in the fact that there is very scattered shields. In fact, 2 with no shields, which is rough going against these sheriffs.
Ooh, almost gets caught off guard there. They push away. The KO flash comes out. Bubblegum's trapped in wine. It's kind of a Saving Private Ryan. Bubblegum dashes away. And now things have settled, with Monarchs looking a little worse for wear after the initial conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are going to pull off a little bit, which does make sense. They tried to push in and really couldn't find anything, even invested, that fragmentation grenade and a little bit of extra util to try to confirm that kill onto the jet, and they were unable to do so. We do see them continue to use these guardians, that bullet penetration through the wall, trying to spot out a kill to turn the numbers advantage back into their favor. But right now, there's just no space being given up by this defense. They are playing super passively and waiting for Exolved to run into them. But they do have 2 behind. That might hurt them if they don't clear main after this A push.
They have a bot to look at it, but Emmy is lurking up top, looking to rain hellfire down upon this team. Still biding their time. They have a good amount to work with, and Bubblegum has picked up the Bulldog here. Looking to do some damage from behind. Has to watch out for the alarm bot. Silver Dart goes in, but Madeline gets 2. Location revealed by the dart, although all are falling for the side of InCBloom. Only 1 remaining. Frostallion looking to make it happen, but nothing. Coming away with nothing after Madeline secures it with a 4K.
Let's go kill them all again.
Yeah, massive play from them. Really good moves from Exolved there. Reassessing, getting understanding that InCBloom is not wanting to take these fights because they do have a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to just having pistols and some sheriffs. They take as much space as possible, and the moment they hear that dart go out, they immediately take an aggressive swing before that dart could find any information. It catches InCBloom off guard, and it also creates a means of exit for them, which they do take advantage of and pick off the rest of the team 1 by 1. That being said, now it is going to be a full buy plus an operator in the hands of InCBloom. This chamber is going to be online. Shot does fire off, so they are now aware of that operator as well.
Yeah, Pangolin seems to be stuck in mid. I don't know if anyone's coming to help them, but they're completely cut off from the rest of their team. Sayori manages to make their way. Oh, there's the first blood. Frostallion finally gets Pangolin down with that op, biding their time. Now site has been secured, but they have a lot of utility to put up with here for the retake. Monarchs need to make something happen. Bubblegum Wizard leading the charge. Making their way down lane, spots the head of Toru. Now, a second for Bubblegum, taken down by Fangs, but not before the trade falls from Emmy. Madeline looking to make a difference again, but now we are tied up at 2-2 after InCBloom get back on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that is massive. They do also pick up that operator, which is huge. This would have been a big loss to the economy if they don't get that. But that is still very costly. 3 people go down there, and a lot of that comes down to Madeline. I know we mentioned, I think the round previous, they got a 4K. Another, I think, double or triple there brings them to 8 and 3 in the first 4 rounds. That is a massive count. Obviously, this is the attack side, so this is the rounds in which you want this KOD to be having the most influence in the game. And if they continue at this pace, Madeline is going to be an absolute menace on this map. One that Ink Bloom are going to have to find a way to deal with, because even in that, 4v1, they were still able to do so much damage, securing those final 2 picks.
Yeah, a bit of a slower start than we've seen most of these rounds. Another mid push. Hopefully, well, for Monarchs, not a repeat of the first round that we saw here.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks like a little bit of a
Stallion.
visual glitch there. I doubt the chamber's
no.
staring at nothing. But yeah, we do see a much slower start to this round, a default, a change in tempo here. They're going to expect that this op is here. Oh, Sayori's in a rough spot, though. Kind of trapped here. But it looks like mid is going to be their final destination. They have to be aware of this Vice Wall, though.
Vice Wall pops with the swing. Lena, 2 immediately. Doesn't even take a single hit of damage. They still have to worry about that operator top mid. Lena, a 3rd. Still almost at full HP for a Stallion, biding their time. Emmy picking up the 4th and the 5th. Flawless round for Ink Bloom.
Yeah, absolutely massive round from them. I mean, we were giving so much credit to Madeline, and Lena and Emmy say, no. It's all of us. We're all amazing at this game and pick up some massive kills in that huge flawless round for them. That's going to give them a nice chunk of change in their back pocket. Exolved Monarchs are also now stuck with just some sheriffs. Pangolin actually foregoing the sheriff and is able to pick up heavy shields instead. We do have 1 hero stinger, I guess you could call it, in the hands of Sayori. And they're going to try to just run it at A and immediately runs to the barrel of Bubblegum Wizard.
Yeah, now that rifle's kind of stuck on an island there. Oh, a 4-man peek. Sorry, 3-man peek there on the Bubblegum Wizard, now hiding behind Generator, but still, I mean, they're going up against pennies here.
Oh no. Don't do it.
No. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Shotgun wide.
Ooh, Fangs
Spike
somehow
down,
escaping
mid.
with their life here. Frostallion does still claim soul in mid. Emmy with the cleanup. Now Pangolin and Rose both kind of jiggle peeking. Still.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, Frostallion picks up another with a deep lurk up mid with that op. I mean, there's so much space though. Pangolin he gets Bubblegum Wizard.
Variable
Does get 1. 2 bullets left in the mag, though. Has to swap to the classic. Uh-oh, the walls are closing in.
Okay. Yeah. Another round on the board. That was expected. They do a little bit of damage there, securing the kill onto the Jets. I think Bubblegum Wizard the one to fall there, but had so little health. Also, they had a couple of individuals, I believe, rocking the Guardians. So they just get rid of the Guardians, pick up those Vandals coming into this round. So, again, not a big, heavy investment from them, as their wallets, just everyone is at least about 4,000 or over. Meanwhile, Exolved Monarchs are yet again in a position where if they do not win this round, they cannot full buy, and it's not even really a full buy because Sayori, because they bought that stinger, are rocking the half shields, so not even full shields and rifles across the board for them. That being said, they do have the they do have 3 different ultimates to play for, all 3 pretty big playmakers. They could do some damage with them if they time them properly, and yet again, mid is the destination.
Yeah, that paranoia from Rose is looking very deadly here. I'd be having some PTSD if I were Monarchs right about now, looking to push up mid. It has just been shut down over and over and over again. But their course has been averted. That's the op! Immediately down. 2 quick kills for Monarchs to try and break the trend here we've seen over the past 3 rounds. Now, Pangolin trying to force their way onto B, buying some time for the rest of the team to come out. The op kill, not only losing it, but getting one of their own team members. Ink Bloom left alone, although Bubblegum Wizard says we're down, but we're not out yet. 2 versus 4. A lot of util to contend with, though. This is definitely an uphill battle for Ink Bloom.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's absolutely a case here that even if they don't go for the round win, they should probably want to fight for some form of exit frags. Again, losing. Oh, are they just gonna push it? Save,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
have the money to save.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, what a shot there. Madeline and Bubblegum Wizard. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Only losing one member, Monarchs. That's what they needed.
Yeah, that's a huge round. Again, a lot of money going in across the board. Plus, they picked up a lot of the rifles and that operator that were in the hands of Ink. So they're not even going to have to really invest all that heavy. So they're going to be doing good. That being said, Ink, again, we're rocking with like 4K even after the buy for every member last round. So they are not out yet, but it is going to hurt them a little bit. But yeah, Exolved, that's exactly what they needed to do. This operator now in the hands of Pangolin might be a huge different measure. We already saw how insane how much insane value they got out of it.
They don't clear the corner. That was such a huge play with the paranoia, but they do come away 1 for 1. Still a pretty big investment into a bit of a trap play there, but now it's all sort of quieted down towards B. Oh, Rose gets a cheeky pick straight through the smoke right before it bloomed onto Sayori. Oh, but Frostallion on a great Madeline! Excuse me!
Got that pop and swing.
There's no way you should win that! Frostallion falling asleep at the crosshair there. Now, somehow, the round has gone back and forth, but they're even across the board here in terms of numbers.
Yeah, it looks like A is going to be their choice of site, but we do see the ultimate invested immediately. The Vice ultimate is going to make it very difficult to try to push into A because they know they're going to run into a heavy wall of resistance without their Vandals. But now Emmy's in a very good position for maybe a backstab. But they still don't have enough information. Madeline is going to be caught in the mid, though.
Yeah, Madeline going down is huge there. Now in a 2 versus 3, and with Emmy on the flank, it's going to be very difficult for Monarchs to be able to win this. Lena looking to do some damage through the wall off of that recon bolt. Doesn't get the spray, though. Fang still not watching that Heaven Peak, trying to take down Emmy before the rest comes in. But Emmy shuts it down on the flank.
Yeah, very smart play. Obviously, Madeline gets caught out in that mid space, and it immediately puts them on the back foot. They realize that they need to get that spike down ASAP because now they're on the back foot. They do get it down. That is going to be a nice chunk of money as well as, you know, an ultimate point. But overall, at that point, you know, 3 members on 2. They use the not ultimate. They use their utility to get the information. They don't risk their lives any more than they have to, and they clean it up. 2-0, nice and clean. That does make it a 5-3 half at the time. 1 round away from at least breaking even, regardless of what happens in the later half of this defensive side. Inkbloom doing very good for themselves here.
Huge initial aggression here from Monarchs, but the Hunter's Fury gonna get the Killjoy ult and a little bit more. Oh, never mind, didn't get the Killjoy ult. Went for the kill instead. 2 quick kills for Inkbloom here. Sayori finally gets on the board for Exalted Monarchs. Now, site has been claimed, but Rose is looking to punish any early entries here. Spike goes down. Still a lot to work with here for Inkbloom. The opposing Hunter's Fury coming online, trying to take that Omen down. Toru gets what they're looking for. Sayori through the wall, taking down Frostallion, another. Now it's Fangs left alone in 1 versus 3. We saw Madeline in this position before do some damage here. The spray, a second headshot. Oh, Fangs hit headshots on all 3 of them, but didn't get the kills.
Wow. Okay, that is probably the
This
closest
nothing.
clutch we have seen there to a possibility, but in the end, it's just not quite enough. I think 2 different wall bangs mean that those kills aren't secured, but that is the 6th round now for InC. So like I said, at nothing else, they are at least going to be pulling out 50-50 from their defensive side. That's pretty good on Ascent. But they're going to want to capitalize and take even more here. And they're in the position to do so. I mean, they have that same... I think this is the same op, by the way. I don't think there's been a second op buy. This op has just been passed around and passed back and forth between these 2 sides. Sent around like 3 or 4.
Once. Just one time. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I'm not as well versed in the history of the op. Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely.
Super aggressive play.
Change again.
Sayori needs to make something to happen with these knives. Oh no, the shot's not falling onto Lina. Does get away. Toru capitalizing off of the initial aggression. Sayori has 1 knife left. This could be a huge shot to hit here. Sight is under their control, but they still have a lot of defending util to deal with if they want to try and hold. Speaking of, here's the paranoia. Bangs in a great spot, but Emmy reacts immediately. Still, though, InC only has 2 members to try and deal with the 4 remaining for Monarchs. That operator, ready to make its presence known, doesn't get anything for it, but Frost Stallion is a thorn in the back. A quick headshot there onto Toru. Both members have linked up, but Sayori's ready for the drop. For Stallion into the site, and the Marshal beats out the operator.
And yet again, it gets passed to the other side, as that's the 4th round on the board for Exolved Monarchs there. A massive round. I mean, Frost Stallion does what they can, gets a couple of really nice picks with that operator, but it's just not enough to really swing the round back into their favor. But they did a lot of damage for a 2v5 situation. And again, because these rounds have been kind of going back and forth, and both sides have had opportunities to like really heavily save up, we are yet again in the position where it is a full buy. We do see a second operator come through, so there's 2 ops, 1 on either side to play around, but it is full buys across the board. So you do see Frost Stallion in a very awkward spot in line.
Oh,
It is going to be found. He has no means. They have no means to get out.
Oh, but what is happening? Oh my god! No
way.
way!
How?
He gets away. They get away. What? How did Frost Stallion just got away with murder?
And that is going to be a massive stall now for Exolved. They just need to completely reassess the situation. The op shot is going to be hurt, so it's going to give away the location of the op. And it looks like they're going to try to use it as a divergence, but there's still 2 sitting in A, and it seems like that's going to be the site they want. Spike is still sitting there. They're going to drop some utility, but they just can't make it on yet.
Yeah, still nothing happening, but Frost Stallion is looking to do it again. I mean, there's just no way they should have gotten away with it. Oh, a headshot through the wall, insult to injury. Sayori goes down. Now 3 versus 5. Still everyone on the board for InC here. And another going down for Monarch.
Last player standing.
Oh, Frost Stallion. Just, flawless. 7-4. InC looking strong going into the last round of the half.
Before the switch.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Frost Stallion had absolutely no right getting out of that situation. Sitting in an op, no TP setup available to them.
It's ridiculous.
3 sitting in a smoke, just like they could even peek out without having been seen. And they go in, they catch that Sova drone being popped, and they just fire a single shorty shot into the smoke and secure the immediate kill onto the Sova. And then get away with it. I don't know how that happens or how Exolved lets that go. But in the end, it's massive for InC. They capitalize on it, and they send it to a 7-4 last round. And Frost Stallion, yet again, with the tour de force, finds them on the other side of the map. That is going to be a massive boon from them. They want to make this 8-4.
Oh, Frost Stallion. Frost Stallion is getting active here. Oh, no. Oh, no, please. Oh, no. This is insane.
No.
Oh my goodness, 2 for Frostallion. Wants the third. Oh my goodness, that would have been clip of the year. Frostallion, the most diabolical flank I've seen. Paranoia, Sayori is just left and the dogs are collapsing in. Oh my god.
I am lost for
Switching
words. That's gotta hurt if you're Exolved. My lord. Yeah, I mean, the fact that was almost an ace too, like actually dealt damage to the 5th member as well. It could have been all 5. That would have been clip of the year had it been. That is an insane play from Frostallion. Also, I think skyrockets them into the top of the kill board. 15 kills from them now, just 7 deaths, 2 assists. That chamber, my god, on the defensive side was just so valuable. But this is going to be the half where I think Evolved might have a little bit of a better shot. Obviously, the double sentinel being on the defensive half to start is definitely a boon that helps them out and maybe stat pads them a little bit. But getting 8 rounds on that defensive half is amazing for them because it's so much easier to get, in just 4 or 5 more rounds to close out the game when you're on a rougher half for your composition than elsewise. Ooh.
Great timing there from Sayori. Working with Madeline to get a little bit of chip damage there. Nade comes out, but you're peeking into Frostallion! What a shot! I mean, that was like a split second there. Pangolin gets 1, but at this point, I'm scared of Frostallion, and I'm not even in the game.
Yeah, hitting stride right when it really matters. They do reassess. Mid is the destination. At least it looks like Tree, but Madeline's holding the line.
Oh, 2 quick shots there. The jet dashes in, but still, Madeline gets another shot off onto there. Bubblegum Wizard left alone in a 1 versus 2. Pangolin is very low, though. If there's a clutch situation, this is the one to win, and this would really sort of start closing the door here for Monarchs, especially on a pistol round.
Spike.
2 members to deal with on site. Pangolin drops down, but Toru puts an end to it. Exolved take the first round of this second half.
Note down your observations, then let's run it again.
That is very nice for them. That does give them a little bit of boost. Pistol rounds so important. But that being said, we did see a pretty heavy investment here. Was Exolved after losing the first round, bought into the second, and it looks like InC are not going to follow suit. So this round should go the way of Exolved. That's 2 Guardians at a minimum. Looks like a Stinger, an Outlaw as well, going up against a singular Sheriff, no shields. This should be a pretty easy eco round for Exolved. It's mostly going to be come a matter of if InC can do a little bit of damage in the process.
Yeah, might have to worry about Sheriff's pocket, Chambers' pocket Sheriff if they decide to bring it out. But other than that, hopefully Exalt, just keep it clean. Don't make any silly mistakes. But we see a bit of action over towards A here. A lot slower of a start than some of the rounds we'd seen from Exolved on attacking side.
Yeah, absolutely. They do make a little bit of noise on A, which does draw a little bit of a rotation. It's a 3-stack over on A, heading towards, garden and tree area. They do spot that chamber trip, I believe, or it got pulled away, but they should hear it either way, which should give some indication that maybe A is not their final destination. 3 sitting in mid, 2 going to be pushing into main. B looks like their set of choice.
Pangolin, oh my goodness, double shot with the Outlaw, gets both of them. Goes down to Lena on site, 2 versus 3. InC have to try and hold against the onslaught of Monarchs that are going to be flooding in. A good spot from Emmy here, but Madeline seems to know. Gets the wall bang, wow, coming away from the blind. Sayori looking to push Lita off the angle. That's the round. 2 quick pickups here for Monarchs.
Yeah. and maybe a little bit of BM there, a little bit of shooting bodies, but they do pick up all 5. They do also get the defuse, which does help them out a little bit. Another ult point for, it looks like, the KO. Madeline, 5 out of 8. So they're going to try to get to that KO's Milkman up as soon as feasibly possible. That being said, Frostallion also is just 2 away from the Tour de Force. So ultimates are going to be coming into play here very, very quickly, as the first 2 rounds are picked up by Exolved Monarchs, like you said. But that does mean full buy coming out here from Inkbloom. Vandals across the board. No operator, or no shenanigans to pull an operator out. I don't even think they have enough money to do so, actually. So it is going to be full Vandals and heavy shields coming out from Inkbloom. Possibly a play for mid.
Yeah, a lot of mid aggression here, but Exalt don't look like they're ready to give it up that easily. Emmy, a quick first kill there. Lena with the answer, 2 for 2 here. Now we're 3 and 3. The round is equalized again. Bodies pretty much all across the map, but Ink maybe looking to make their way over towards this side. Although 2 members from Monarchs are trying to hold it down.
Take flight.
Potential for a good mid-lurk here. No, Pangolin decides to group up with the rest of Monarchs. They have to try and hold on to this site with a little bit worse weaponry, but they have some util for the retake. Peeking in from the top. Oh, what a spray from Frostallion! What just happened? It seems like everything's landing for them. Fangs spots out 2 of the 3 members here, but Frostallion is in a pretty good spot. Still not a lot to work with. The smoke goes away. You're sort of peeking into an army here. Oh, the gunfire, the firing squad. First round goes to Ink on this second half.
Yeah, that is a big pickup for them. And, there was a lot of low health bars there, but when you only have a Guardian in hand and you're facing out 3 Vandals, it also just becomes a game of give away your location. Just give away your location once, fire off the Guardian once, and those Vandals, the triple spray is just too much for them to duck and dodge out of, and not enough room for them to escape. So that is a round on the board for Ink. That does mean we are going to be getting pretty much another full buy. Frostallion actually passing over the rifle to pick up the Tour de Force, which has already been popped. There are 2 regen shields, also Toru and Sayori, both using those. So a lot of value could be found from Inkbloom if they catch out those 2 with lackluster shielding. But it's not a perfect buy for either team, but that Tour de Force might be a big difference maker.
Yeah, Frostallion, sometimes there are just games where everything seems to be going your way. You get away with shots that you shouldn't, like that shorty kill, and you land sprays which maybe sometimes are a little bit lucky, like that double kill on the Heaven. Ooh, but a quick opening pick there from Bubblegum Wizard, although they don't decide to push into top mid. Pangolin looking to make their presence known, doesn't get away. Lena keeps the numbers advantage. Now, through the smoke, unlucky. Rose landing a nice shot there. Omen versus Omen. Frostallion shut down Madeline. That's the second time they've taken down Frostallion in their Tour de Force.
Spike planted.
Now a 2 versus 3. It's not, Ink is not out of the woods yet when it comes to this round. Oh, but a great shot there from Rose. Peeking when Madeline's not looking. Sayori finds the first. 2 members left to contest with, and that Hunter's Fury still doesn't know where Lena is on site. Yeah, pretty bad crossfire. The first shot. Oh my goodness, they get away with it. Sayori now in a 1 versus 1. The dart spots them out, dancing around Boathouse, looking to buy time. Lena saves the round there.
A lot of very back and forth plays there. Inkbloom get the advantage early with that opening pick. They immediately pull back, trying to see if they can force a rotate out onto the mid. They don't really get that as 2 of them try to push into B at the same time. They're met with that resistance, but after all of that, they do end up with the advantage still, but with Sayori on the field, it's just never enough, as they can just have absolute moments of spectacle, just like in that round, almost pulling out the 1v3, 1v2, and it's close. They don't secure it. Sayori, though, oh my.
Oh my goodness. Oh, a super aggressive peek there, which went so well for them at first, but then Inkbloom cleaned it up in the end. Oh no. 5 players remain, and only one of them is for Monarchs. Pangolin, they're in a not a bad spot, though. I think it all just comes down to the timing. There is a Vice Wall to worry about on the back of B main.
Yeah, they also only have a classic in hand. I think they're hoping... Okay, yeah, there is going to be a Vandal available to them, but it's out by B main, which that's where everyone went through, so there's a lot of utility here to prevent them. That Vice Wall is going to give them away, then they're going to be spotted. Luckily, there's those heavy walls now that they can't be shot through, but this is tough.
Oh, a great head peek from Frostallion to end the round. 11-6. Inkbloom just 2 rounds away from taking the first point.
Yeah, and off that, I mean, this is going to be a mostly full buy round. I say mostly because I think what we'll end up seeing is either, yeah, it looks like it's going to be regen and light shields with some Vandals. Sayori, it looks like they might be saving and using the Blade Storm, which is available to them already, so at the start of the round. It is a little rough, though. Inkbloom do have the ultimate advantage for being on hand, but Exolved actually are just, what, 3 points away from having every ultimate available to them on the board. So they're not far behind. I would hope to see a lot more ultimate usage come out from them.
Oh my goodness. Through the smoke, Madeline. I mean, sometimes you get lucky, and that's a great way to start it off. Now, looking to make their way over towards B. They are down a member, but Inkbloom, you know, they have a lot to work with. Some pressure over towards mid, maybe drawing some rotates in, but I mean, Exalt have some pretty good map control here across the board.
Yeah. And they're not playing super aggressively. They know they got that opening pick, so they're going to sit back on their heels, take a lot of space in their own defensive end, and just wait for some aggression to come out from Inkbloom. They know they don't need to be the aggressors here. They just need to punish that aggression. Fangs pushed up really, really far. This has been checked with some high penetration rifles very frequently, but with the Vandals, it looks like they're not going to invest it.
And he's in a great spot
30
here to
seconds
just
left.
completely tear open this site. Oh no, they look away at just the wrong time, but Sayori doesn't land the shot. The nade somehow gets Emmy, but now the flood is here, and they have to contest with it. Madeline, 4 gets 4, goes down before they can get the ace, but I don't even know what happened there. They came away with 4 shots immediately. Now for Stallion, just looking to try and get an ult point online.
Yeah, I mean, the null command is huge. It completely nullifies every single ability in the game, so that makes it very difficult for them to hold that A site, but it doesn't even really come necessary, as Madeline just mows them down as they enter site. Sayori definitely had a little bit of a whiff there, which was very scary, but luckily they double stacked that garden area, so even though Sayori's shots go wide, they don't get punished for it, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want to see from team play. Even when one player, you know, has a slip-up moment, there's a fallback, a safety to fall back on, which they take great advantage of. Madeline's also in the area, and like I said, mows them down as they enter site. That's going to be the 7th round on the board for them. It's also a very convincing win, so hopefully they take that momentum as they try to swing it back into their favor. They've officially cut off the win streak that Inkbloom had, that 3-round win streak, and hopefully we see the swing back. Ultimate's
Now the
immediately
ult-
being invested.
Yeah, they fly out into this A site. Some great aggression here. Bubblegum caught on the other side of the door. Has to watch out for Jet coming through mid. Sayori has a good timing here. Oh, but Bubblegum looks over and spots them out. Hunter's Fury ripping through that Killjoy ult. Gonna go down as well. The Killjoy ult doesn't go down.
Out of charges.
That's gonna be huge in pushing them off this site here. Oh, Fangs just threw the smoke. Pangolin and Madeline ripping it down through sight. Rose is in a great spot here, but they're not gonna have enough time.
Unfortunate. Also, the plant's not for them as well in that position. So, yeah, that Hunter's Fury not securing the destruction of the Killjoy ult really does make that very impossible odds for them. It's also a very heavy investment from, you know, and not getting any real value out of it. So that is a little rough. We do see a timeout come through. It comes out from Inkbloom, which does make sense. Obviously, we do see the momentum swing back into Evolve's favor here. And these timeouts, I feel like, are a lot less about them struggling and more about the mental reset. Give the players a little bit of time to breathe, maybe try to undercut that momentum that Exolved has had. So I'm not surprised, and I actually like this timeout. I think good timing from ZK1.
Yeah, you know, I think Inkbloom have been pretty dominant so far, but one of the things I want to say is that Sayori, they really struggled to start the first half, but in the second half they've come alive. So even if they don't pick up this game, I would still be a little bit worried about Exolved Monarchs just because, you know, they seem like they had a slow start, but now that things have gotten sort of towards the later half, they've been picking up more and more rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if Sayori does continue to kind of warm up and become online. That is very scary because if Sayori's online and Madeline keeps up this form that they're in, that's a very scary duo. Madeline's currently sitting 20, 14, and 10 on this KO. I said that become a monster if allowed the space, which they have been given, and they become a monster. We do immediately see the Hunter's Fury and popped. Not gonna find anything?
It gets their own teammate. Oh, Pangolin pushing up, but Emmy sort of matrixes around the Hunter's Fury. It was a bit of a waste there. Oh no, Madeline not expecting Bubblegum to already be up in mid. Fangs gets the trade. How Ink is they've gone two players left on both teams. Some slip ups there towards mid, but now things have evened out. Emmy making an aggressive peek, but it all falls on the shoulder of the man of the person who's made everything happen. Frostallion gets the first. Oh no, tour de force. I mean, you have to win this. You just cannot lose. Oh, you can't rip the tour de force in a 1 versus 1 to die immediately.
Yeah, and I think maybe a little bit of overzealousness there. Emmy swings out way too early, even though Frostallion had a really good flank angle. They had no info on where they were, but Emmy still tries to swing in CT and gets punished for it, especially when you're playing Sentinel and you have no initiation tools. If, you know, KO or even a Sova, some other agent that has the means to either flash or do some disruptive behavior to get a more advantageous peak there, I don't see a problem with it. But in the end, maybe a little overzealousness means that makes it a 1v2. Frostallion does a lot of damage, takes out one. But if it's a 2v2, I think it's a very different setup, as we do see the tempo yet again change. Both teams doing a very good job and making sure the other one is very uncomfortable, never getting into the rhythm of like fast, you know, very brief defaulting. They are constantly going back and forth, changing the strategies. The tempo is constantly shifting, and they're getting a lot of value out of it as Emmy does find that opening pick.
A great first shot from Emmy. I think Frostallion may have caught a leg shot from the operator. Now Toru has to try and hold on to the site for the rotates. Makes their presence known, gets 2 off their position. Looking for a third, but Rose shuts it down. Now 3 players remaining for Inkbloom. On both teams, Madeline, an aggressive peek here. Oh my goodness, Rose lets it go through. Madeline flicks and turns, gets 2 members, looking for the third. Lena, again, I mean the Boathouse 1 versus X clutch. Oh no, reloads at the wrong time and Fangs secures it.
If I had a nickel for every time we had a Boathouse 1v3 situation, I'd have 3 nickels. Also, those situations also resulted in no clutch. We would also have 3 nickels. But they both do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
It's very close. They just can't get over the line. But yeah, no. That is massive. That timeout does seem to not have had that much of an effect. Exolved Monarchs take the opportunity as well to maybe develop their own strategy here, as for the first time this game, a 4-round win streak is on the board as they get themselves to double digits. They're now just 1 round behind InCbloom, who are kind of struggling to get over to the finish line for this map.
A lot of initial B aggression. Oh, but, you know, that paranoia comes out pretty early and they don't get a lot from it. Pangolin has retreated back into B site. You see from the shadows there. Toru takes down Frostallion, but Bubblegum is quick to answer. Pangolin locking down the B site with Fangs backing them up. Now Lena's trying to crack it open. Gets the first kill. Fangs takes it down and secures the round. 11-11. We are tied for the first time since I think round 4.
Yeah, this team's defensive hold on B has been pretty immaculate. They've done a very good job, especially since the start. Okay, we do immediately see another timeout. Both timeouts being invested within 4 rounds of each other, mind you. Yeah, no, ZK1 very clearly a little worried for their team here as they have handed over this lead. But like I said, that defensive hold on B and even on A has been so spectacular from Exolved. I would love to know what their coach said or what was said in that team huddle, because, man, they have looked like a different monster since they started this win streak back 5 rounds ago.
Yeah, I feel like they've been using their ults. Except for some Hunter's Fury moments, especially hitting Pangolin with it and no other members. But outside of that, you know, the ult usage has been very well. Like Fangs getting 2 kills off of From the Shadows there and just making it. I mean, you know, you don't want to save it, but using it when it counts, them, like when you can get the most value, has just been really brought them back into this game.
Yeah, and also just the ult rotation. I mean, right now Sayori's the last one sitting on ult, which is one of those big high impact ultimates, the Blade Storm. But you know, Toru is also just 1 away from the Hunter's Fury again. Madeline's 1 away from the Null Command. InCbloom are in a very similar position, but I think they were struggling with that ult rotation earlier on into the game, and now that they've got a little bit of a better grasp of it and they've got a foundation under their feet, Exolved are looking a lot better. And I do agree with you 100%. I think the ult usage has been a massive game changer for them. Did you see the tempo? Again, nice and slow, as A seems to be the destination.
Oh, no. This is the Frostallion peak. Oh, the knives go down. Spraying through the smoke. Doesn't get a second one, but secures this entire A main. Behind the wall, Madeline. Oh, no. Ripping through sight. Ripping through the lane. Emmy spotted out by the alarm bot. Now, 1 versus 5. It looks like we're well, I mean, we're going to go to match point either way, but it looks like we're about to be on match point for Monarchs here. Yep, there it is. Flawless round. Not what you want to see if you're InCbloom.
And I think maybe we may be even seeing a little bit of, you know, anger start going. Not anger. That's not the right word. I'm immediately tripping up on the word. But the fact that I think it was Emmy there with Spike in hand, rather than pulling away from a very dangerous position, tried to just kind of ego swing into the 1v3 with the Odin staring him down, and they were the one with Spike. So pretty much just handed Spike over on a platter. So I do think maybe a little bit of anger is seeping in here, and some decisions are not being made logically. But that being said, it's pretty justified. 6 rounds now lost in a row, and the grasp that they had on this game is very quickly releasing as they need to win this round to send it to overtime. We see yet again a very slow start here from InCbloom, poking and prodding, but Fangs is going to catch out Rose. No smokes available to him.
Oh. Sayori taking over. That's their top frag down. Finally, InCbloom get on the board. That's what you want out of that Hunter's Fury. 3 versus 4, but this is the round where everything matters. And things have stalled out again, but still, they're looking at a member disadvantage, going over to that B site where Pangolin has been so comfortable round after round after round. And Madeline, their top fragger, looking to support it up. The read is there. The Iron Garden comes out, but oh no, the Odin rips down mid. They don't get her down though. Emmy
30 seconds left.
gets one, and the B site is starting to crack. Pangolin has to try and hold on. The shot's not landing. Sayori does get Madeline up, so we do see a 2 versus 3, but Emmy looking to do a very aggressive quick peek here. Backs away. The knives are online. I mean, it feels like B site is where everything is happening this game over and over again. Sayori looking to try and get one, but Emmy with the huge shot. Madeline, the only one remaining between overtime or the first game, and they go down. We're going to overtime. First map.
Oh, okay. I was really prepared, especially after the first two fell for Ink Bloom. I was really expecting to say the words, you know, and game one with Ink Bloom in such a demanding position. Instead of going out with a bang, they kind of go out with a whimper, but instead they turn it around. They swing through that Steel Guard and just absolutely decimates the defensive hold, puts them in a very awkward spot, pushes everyone away. They take the fights one by one, exactly what they needed to do, and they turn it back into the favor, even taking Madeline down twice, who was in the null command position. So that is a huge round for them. That's gonna be a massive momentum driver as well, as we do see overtime start. They're back on the defensive side, their preferred side with this composition.
Oh, this wine spot has won rounds every time. 2 kills immediately. 2 more to find. Oh, the nade just barely misses. Bubblegum still does decide to peek. Dashes back into the grenade. I mean, Exolved looking to make a very rapid push here, but it doesn't turn out well for them.
I just want to say that they did have it. Bubblegum Wizard actually had the right position. Oh, Penguins knows. But they were shifted. Madeline was shifted, so they shot over their head. If they were not shifted there, they would have found another one as they immediately spotted them in the smoke.
Shoots out the knife, but doesn't get the kill though. Frostallion picks up 2 off of the swing. Pangolin gets another kill, but they're left in 1 versus 3. And you know, Ink Bloom, they're just so comfortable on the defensive side.
Yeah, with no spike here, Pangolin is in an almost impossible situation. And yeah, just staring down the barrel. I don't think there's really a way for Pangolin to have much of a say into that last little bit. That was such a good defensive hold. It really does feel like a defensive shootout now, as that was a very convincing win from Ink Bloom. The first real convincing win for a round that we've seen from them in a while. So I think it is going to really come down to this defensive side for both teams. If one of them lose it, that might be the nail in the coffin for both of these teams.
Yeah, we need to see if Exalt can keep up this momentum here. They kind of struggled a bit in the early defensive half, but if they can keep this up, and they're playing aggressive again. They can go straight up that A main. They do a little bit of damage there on the Frostallion. But still, all sides are even, and where they've taken space, they've lost it over towards mid. Ooh, moving over towards that B site. We've seen it so many times. Pangolin claiming the space. Bubblegum Wizard pushes through, but taken down by Madeline. Not looking for a repeat of last time. Lena is on site and is the last player remaining. We're going to double overtime.
Yeah, and I think the very fun thing here is that it's 2 very different defensive holds. I mean, you even joked about how Exalted, once again, just pushing super heavily into A main. It really does feel like the strategy is the best defense is a good offense. They just push out and take so much space away from Ink Bloom every single time they're on the defensive side, and it constantly pushes Inkbloom into very uncomfortable positions that they have been struggling to deal with. Meanwhile, Inkbloom have been a lot more passive. We do see here a little bit more aggression from them, actually, yet again pushing out into Wine and this Chamber once again out into the catwalk space, but still very defensive hold. Those are really the only positions that are even slightly forward, and you would still call them at most neutral.
Yeah, and Pangolin has an op here. So that could be a difference maker, potentially. Flash goes through, but Emmy is in such a good spot. I mean, Inkbloom has such great lurk positions across the board. Oh, the swing on both sides of the map, and both ones go the side of Monarchs. Now a 5 versus 3, but rounds have slipped away. 5 versus 2, excuse me. Pangolin proving me wrong. Rounds have slipped away from them before, but this one is looking overwhelmingly in their favor. Frostallion not ready to let the game end yet. Sayori jumps over the vice wall. 2 members waiting in mid to try and catch the cross. Rose spots out Sayori, but I don't know if they know the ops there. Paranoia comes through, both members blinded. They don't push fast enough though, and the blind goes away. First one falls, Pangolin does get one, and the second with the classic Frostallion letting Pangolin get away with it. Now we see Exolved on match point. They let the defensive round slip.
Yeah, you know what I just said? That is very scary for them. We do immediately see I think their final timeout come out from Inkbloom. ZK1 trying to push their team over the line. But like I said before, that defensive round has just been so good for Inkbloom, and it's also been so good for Monarchs that you're just thinking, how are Inkbloom, who are very clearly on a more uncomfortable side on the attack, how are they going to do this? I hope they have some play. This is the kind of situation where I would love to see a trick play or some fancy maneuver that doesn't get pulled out very often, something that they've had stuck in their back pocket that they need to use for situations like this, where they need a little bit of magic dust to pull the miracle out of the hat. I hope to see it, but the realist in me is struggling to see how Inkbloom pull themselves out of this hole.
I mean, do you swap it to A here? Because it feels like they've gone B like the past 4 attack rounds and just gotten slaughtered every single time. Except for the one to send it to overtime.
Yeah, but that felt more, again, like one of those magic plays. It was a very good round for them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take that away from them. But it definitely didn't feel like the average round for them. It took a little bit of masterclass and maybe a little bit of misplaying from Exolved Monarchs. So I think I agree. I think A might be the place to hit, but they need to figure out how to deal with A main if they're going to. They've been struggling in that space.
Oh, thanks.
Bad start.
That's a great way to start it. And Sayori gets away. Emmy does make it equal, though. We're still on an even game. Madeline, 27 and 19. They're looking very strong right now, although they have a site. What do we think of the rotates here?
I actually think both teams panicking a little bit does make a lot of sense. The attack side lost their Jet, who is their really only initiator, besides Sova, who is not good at taking space. So all of their space taking has been neutered, as well as the Killjoy on the defense, which is their primary sentinel and really only sentinel. So both teams kind of stalling here. Makes a lot of sense, but it does look like A is going to be the place to hit. This is actually really good for Inkbloom, as they are going to get the space for pretty much free. Defense didn't rotate quick enough.
They know that Emmy is caught alone. Paranoia goes out, but I don't know if it clears Emmy in the corner. Oh, Fangs cleans it up anyways, on a tear this round. Looking to send it to map 2. Lena tucks into a really good spot. These flanks have been so good, but Fangs is still ready, gets 4. And we see off of the back of Fangs, Exolved pick up the first round in a double overtime victory.
Defenders win.
Wow, very close affair, but it comes down, my prediction ends up being true, where is really just down to that defensive side. Inkbloom had the opportunity there, I think, to maybe get themselves over the line. A little bit of struggling and indecision from Exolved Monarchs does mean that they get that site for free. I definitely think Emmy leaving is not great. Obviously, in that very strong hold 4v4, a Vice and their utility can be super, super helpful. And also, I think in that situation, you just want bodies on site. Try to level out, because if they just push in aggressively, sure, you're going to get one on the back flank, but they're still going to have the number advantage on that initial push, which is always scary. So I definitely think a little bit of misplays there from Inkbloom. I still think it's a very good showing for them, but I definitely do worry because Ascent and Lotus were kind of their two maps that I was fairly confident that if they were going to take maps off of Exalted Monarchs, this was going to be it. So the fact that they don't pick it up, I think is a little scary, but Lotus, I think they might do even better on. But this is the stat line here. Anything catching your eye here, Flaylin?
I mean, I talked about it a little bit before, but Sayori, bit of a slow start, but, I think they went like 0-8 to start the game, but really in that second half came back and made a lot of plays that, especially over towards that wine cellar area, that really just helped picked up a couple rounds, which were exactly what Exolves needed to see. But I mean, besides the obvious, where Frostallion and Madeline were just dominating. I mean, there were time after time after time, especially Chamber picking up 4 first bloods. It really felt like just nowhere on the map was safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on that defensive side, those first kills are massive momentum swingers in their specific round, and that's what Chamber really does excel at. It's very similar to that of Jet in that opping role. Just means that you can play super aggressively, get those picks early. But I do think that's also kind of the detriment of this team composition with the double sentinel is the fact that you have to rely on Chamber and those first kills, as well as Vice to kind of hold down on the defensive side, get as many rounds as physically possible. But then when you swap to the attack side, you're going to be a little bit on the weaker end. So I think England did a very good job. Very high highs, definitely a little bit of low lows, but also Exalted Monarchs, some massive grit and determination out of them to bring that back. Huge comeback for them to get the 1-0 map count. But that being said, we are going to send it over to a quick break, quick intermission before we get into game number 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. If you're just now joining us, Ink Bloom versus Exolved Monarchs. Exolved Monarchs draw first blood, picking up the win on Ascent in double overtime. Flailin, well, what are your thoughts on the matter? How did that one go? What were your thoughts?
I mean, you talked about it pretty much, but we saw two very different play styles where, Exolved were pretty aggressive across the board, where Inkbloom were a lot more reserved, maybe because of that double Sentinel comp. But I mean, it was just so close. It was really anyone's game, although I do agree. I think that you probably would have wanted to see that out of Inkbloom because that was probably one of their stronger maps. So maybe I'm leaning towards Monarchs, but what's your take?
I still personally am leaning towards Monarchs, but I think if there's any map that Ink Bloom have a real darn good chance to pick up, I think it is Lotus. They did lose this map in week number 1, but it was an 11-13, and while Exiled Monarchs did win this map in week number 1, they also only won it 13-11. So it was very close affairs for both games. So that being said, we are already in Agent Select is going to be coming up here. Very interested to see, though this map is, I don't want to say solved. There's definitely been some variations, but yeah, okay. I'm not that surprised. It's mirroring compositions. This is the composition that gets picked by, fun fact, just under 17% of all games. 61 games in pro play have been this composition. There's a lot of value in it, so seeing both teams pick it, not too surprised.
Yeah, Omen Viper, amazing. Fade is super good, especially on some of the more compact sites, like maybe over towards C can be very helpful. And then, that C's nade combo with Raze is just so good. And Vice, I mean, every single agent in this comp just really has so many parts across the map where they're just exactly who you would want. So,
yeah.
It's not as solved, I mean, it is sort of solved, but still, I love this map because of the Rebel gunfights. I just don't think you get any 5-on-5 action anywhere else.
Yeah. And I don't think it's solved. There's still some variation. I think the duelist pool is actually very open on this map still. Obviously, like Neon and Yoru both get a lot of play. Chambers also get a little bit of play here, so it's not always Vice. But the defensive potential of the Viper and the Vice, and just honestly, the attack presence from that C's nade combo and that Raze and Fade is super, super impressive. I am excited to see how this game does play out because last game, very defensive sided. Both teams doing very, very well on the defense, but this is a lot more attack sided map. So I'm excited to see how these teams change their strategies and how they adapt their play to a lot more attack sided map.
Yeah, there's a 4-man push into Rubble from Inkbloom, but Monarchs look like they tried to go for a bit of a B play here, but didn't run into any contact, so now they're sort of scrambling over towards the A site. But that might be exactly the wrong timing.
Yeah, a little bit of a stall here from the attack side. Finally, Emmy does pick up that first kill, but the door is shot open. Looks like B might be their final destination after all.
Yeah, just, I mean, that one flank was what Monarchs had going for them, but now they've sort of given up sight just completely for free. Rose with a bit of a lucky shot there on the Toru. The blind comes out 1 for 1. 2 members remaining for Monarch. Sayori and Fangs left to try and make it all happen. Both pushing out from the same place. No one's there to hold the angle, though. They get onto site.
One enemy.
Have to try and clear that back, and the double peek comes out and clears the round. InC pick up the first round here.
Keep hitting them like that, and this job is done.
I definitely find the hold position a little bit awkward there. Like you said, there's no real good hold, and they have to double swing out, but it's a little bit awkward. There's no direct line of sight for the actual bomb, but in the end, that flanking play does come up massive, and it does mean that they're able to pick off the last bit of the defense. So that is going to be first round on the board yet again, going to InC, and it looks like a little bit of a change up here. Exolved last time they lost round 1. Immediately bought out heavy into the Stingers, but that was also when they were on the attacking side. Now they're on the defensive, so instead of buying out, they are going to stick with the pistols. A little bit of buying with a Ghost and a Sheriff, but still relatively a low buy across the board, as it is a lot of rifles. All rifles, in fact, in the hands.
Oh no, Rose peeks into the blender. Exolved keep giving up this rubble area for free, but in that instance, it really worked out for them. They've secured a lot of space and now have that rifle in the hands of Fangs, who was instrumental in last game. InC do seem to be making their way towards the opposite side. Pangolin, again, anchoring his sight over and over. Does go down to the paint shells, but that Razor Vine is going to be so big and stalling for some rotates to come over. Still,
Pangolin finding 1 there is massive for them here, as they are going to get the spike down, as the defense is waiting for it. Just trying to see what this attack has. Maybe try to draw a little bit more util before the retake comes through.
Paranoia flies into sight. Running in is Madeline, leading the charge. Fangs making that Bulldog worth their while. A second! You did not deserve that! Bubblegum Wizard letting it slip through their fingers. Emmy, the last one remaining, and again we see InC lose their buy round.
Wow! And they don't even need to buy the rifles or the Stingers this time to win it as well. That's a practically nothing investment coming out of Exolved to win that round. InC are stuck on Sheriffs now, and Fangs, I believe they got a 4K to close out map number 1, and round number 2 here, they get yet another 4K. In rounds played, that's 8 kills in 3 rounds. That is huge for them. If Fangs is also starting to hit stride, that is very scary. We talked about how scary B and Madeline and Sayori really started coming online. Sayori definitely doing a lot better than they were in the first round of Ascent, or the first half of Ascent. But man, if Fangs is also hitting stride, that is very scary to have 3 people all, getting into the groove of the game.
Yeah, just got to make sure if you're Monarchs, you don't get too ahead of yourselves here. You got to be able to pick up this round against an eco. First kill not looking good. Rose getting it onto Sayori. That's their duelist, so they don't really have a space maker anymore. I guess, they can sort of substitute in with Fangs. But I think that InC is playing this, super well. Sort of biding their time, waiting to sort of gank up here onto Madeline. They do get away, though. Quick headshot on a Bubblegum Wizard, evens the tides. Toru takes down Emmy. Now some rotates coming over towards B, but C site has been taken. There's a lot of util, so Frostallion and the rest decide to push up into CT spawn.
Ooh, Lina gets hit by that. A lot of damage.
Damage there, Fangs. Locking onto Rose. A good shot from Lina, but it's not enough. As Exalt, take it again. I mean, it would really be deja vu if InC win this next round here. Although, they're going to have a full buy.
Yeah, they are supposed to. Usually when, you lose the first round and win the second, it usually becomes a 1-2-1 in the map count. It's very rare that we see it swap, but that's always a possibility. Exolved do pick up multiple rifles to go into this next round as well. It's just not going to be the full buy that we saw. Singular Guardian and a light shield for Pangolin is not ideal, but it's still a pretty heavy investment. Both teams are desperately going to win this, though. They're both a little bit light on cash. Madeline really the only one not buying a new rifle in Exolved, so still about 4,500 credits left to play for. But we do see both teams being super
Both
oh my God.
raises dashing in. Paranoia is being sent every which way. No one can see. I mean, that's the rubble fight I was looking for there. Emmy takes down Pangolin. That's a huge pick. The C site is just completely open now. Someone from Monarchs is going to have to move over there to try and hold it down.
Poison's off.
Bit of a rotate over to C. Madeline's the only person holding here, and they do get spotted out. Emmy just executes them, and that does put this defensive hold into a very awkward position as Fangs and Toru, the last two standing, they do have full buys, still full shields and rifles available to them, but such low util.
Oh.
No.
What? No,
clear
Frost Alley.
They won't know.
It can't happen again. Oh, the first. Looking for the second.
My ultimate is ready.
Was it?
Wait until I blind them to
I just
strike.
don't
How are you getting
understand.
away with this? It's got to be criminal at this point.
At this point,
Inkbloom. Go.
I don't even know.
Inkbloom do pick up that round, which they were expected to, but it did cost a little bit there. But they're going to be feeling really good. Obviously, actually, not obviously. We do see Exolved actually go for a buyout here, despite multiple low buys, including Pangolin just on the Sheriff, with no agents that have like a hero rifle or a gun built into their kit, like the Tour de Force or the Blade Storm. That is a lot. I don't know why they would, but they're going to try to force the issue here.
a big group swing here, but Inkbloom. Oh lord, 4 quick kills, and immediately Toru is the only one left standing. Sayori on an island, and then the rest all fall in quick succession.
Yeah, and now we're in this very awkward position again, where it's a 1v4. It's very awkward. I imagine. I mean, I was gonna say Toru might just save, but they only have a Guardian. I don't know if it's worth it. It probably is worth the save because everyone else invested so heavily, so they're not gonna be able to afford anything at this point. Time is ticking. If they want to get it, they need to go now. But also, if they lose this, which there's a high chance they might, they just won't have anything for next round.
Quick shots there. Toru does get one. Those don't fake. Okay. I have seen too many rounds lost by just no one peeking and assuming that they were faking. So it's good to see that Ink cleaned it up.
And as we look forward, like I said, it's okay. I was about to say, it looks like they're buying out again. They are buying out again? Why are they buying out again? Exolved. Okay. Multiple. It looks like a judge, a Bucky, a couple sheriffs. Okay, that's not too bad. I was seeing like rifles there again, like a Guardian, and I was gonna say, Exolved, you have to get back on level playing field here. Stop buying out every round. But it's a very heavy wallet for Inkbloom as they're feeling really good after picking up 2 rounds in a row without much investment. And they also have the ultimate advantage here. 4 being in their pockets, and Rose makes it 5. All 5 available to him.
Great use of their time there by Pangolin, looking to push again. Emmy might know that Pangolin's stuck in the corner. No! Pangolin still comes away with it. Dodges the Boombot as well. That's a quick 2 kills and the Iron Garden online. They still have a Viper's Pit to contest with. Everything's coming out. The Showstopper as well. Just fires into the smoke. Lena getting the first kill for Ink here. Still, they have a really high barrier to overcome. Oh no, Bubblegum is in a great spot here. If they just turn around, they can quickly get a kill here. 2 kills online for Ink. Toru lurking. 2. Bubblegum Wizard, the only one remaining, and Fangs. How does X get away with this?
Very good positioning and honestly a lot of lucky timing And you know what the crazy thing is there? The fact that most of those kills were spread out meant that Exolved, who went into that round with one ultimate, but every other ultimate available to them, just one ult point off, means every single one of them got their ults available to them. So while it started in 1 to 4, every ult was available for that round. 3 of them were invested from InC. Only 1 invested from Pangolin, that's Steel Garden, and that was a massive tide turner. And they're able to win it out with only 1 investment. That is huge for Exolved. They win a round they really had no business winning. And on top of that, they now have a very heavy advantage in ultimates, and they've caught back up monetarily. They have set themselves up good for this, second half of the first half, if that makes sense.
Some spotting out there from Fangs. They like to play a lot more aggressive when they have guns in their hands. But that Odin is just staring at me from the pocket of Toru. So many walls on this map are paper thin. Pangolin is in a very cheeky spot, and the Viper's Pit being ripped a little early by Madeline, causing the rotate over towards A. They do have Rose pretty deep in this A site. A potential 1v1 here from Sayori and Rose. The Boombot spots it out. But still not a lot of rotates here.
Toxin screen down.
No, they actually have not really rotated at all. Fade finally going to make their presence known here. It is going to spot the one in stairs, but site has been just secured.
30 seconds.
Sayori with a quick kill, rips out the showstopper 2 immediately. The Iron Garden goes through, but they still have a lot of time left on this bomb clock. Primary finally come back. Pangolin ripping through the B door. It might be a flawless here. Although Rose is in a good spot to end it. No! It is a flawless. Exolved are looking to swing back with force.
Yeah, that's a huge round, and it's pretty much off the back of Sayori, who goes nuclear there. Finds that first kill, immediately sends the rocket towards another, finds the second kill, and then pops the paint shells, which actually does a lot of damage to Lena on the way out. So that is massive for them. That's a big momentum turner. And also, that puts them in the lead. 4-3 is the round count. We do see the timeout coming out from ZK1, a very similar position to what we saw last time. But this time, we're seeing it so early, because this is actually a very attack-sided map. The fact that Evolve are currently in the lead 4-3 is actually kind of horrifying. That's not great. Most teams get a lot of rounds on the attack side. This is a map where it's pretty consistent, and it's actually rather normal to get 7-8 rounds on this half on the attack side. So the fact that they're already in a position where they at best might get like 6-6, that's very scary. That is not good for Inkbloom, so not surprised to see the timeout. Definitely get their heads back on straight. ZK1 is hoping that they can have a much better, hoping to get a much better start after this timeout, as opposed to what we saw in the last game where they continue the struggle post.
Yeah, I feel like, you want to reset, especially with, having a little bit of an intermission, but it still feels like the momentum is heavily in Exalted's favor. It really feels like Inkbloom hasn't gotten their ray of daylight that they had in that first map. So they need to sort of try and maybe pick up a bit of a round win streak here. But I mean, hey, you're always hoping to win. I feel like every team would want that.
Okay, the Into the Shadows is invested, not use the TP, but it's going to give a lot of information. A is not the site. So we immediately see the rotations come out as they start maneuvering a little bit closer towards a double stack of B and C, with the Rays just sitting on rubble, waiting for a possible rotation over after that Into the Shadows isn't spotted by any of the attackers.
Paint shells come out, and Exolved is aware of the push. Thorns and Viper Molly and the orb, but a lot of util is baited out here. A delayed push, Bubblegum Wizard flying into sight. Frostallion picks up the first, and all 5 members quickly get onto the C site. Madeline, first blood for Exolved.
Spike planted.
Fade ult invested. There's that Odin, both Fade ults, but although the one from Ink Bloom is a little bit off the mark there.
Frostallion alive. How is Frostallion alive?
No, not again. No, a second! Frostallion, how do you keep getting away with this? Fangs is the only one remaining. They have made their presence very well known. First kill here, 1 versus 2, has to try and find 2 quick kills to get this defuse down. No one there to watch it. This fake could be deadly.
Cover going
Yeah, time is ticking down. The decision to stick might happen, but it's not enough. How? Time after time after time, Soren. Frostallion keeps doing this.
Frostallion, it was just up against the wall, like 3 feet in front of the Viper with the Odin, by the way, who's blind firing into the smoke. That's why I said, how are they alive? How are they alive? They should be dead. That Odin is those bullets are whizzing within inches of their skull, and they do not die. And in fact, they push to the smoke, and they still don't see Frostallion. It seems like every game, there's like 2 or 3 rounds where you go, how are they getting away with this? They can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, a quick rebel take there. Still haven't had any, except for maybe 1 round, no big 5 versus 5 gunfights on that site. But there's a lot of space across the board here for Ink. Emmy, that is a huge 1 versus 1 there. Just sort of separating all the members of Exolved. Pangolin being patient, gets the first kill, but the spacing is so good here that they managed to get away. Ooh, Emmy a second! Sayori caught lacking. No way Emmy gets a third, right? Okay, they have a good spot.
Emmy is the rat in the walls right now. Still don't know where they are.
Down B.
Spike does get dropped though. We still don't know where Emmy is though.
Yeah, Emmy looking for another on the flank. Oh, the timing was so good there on the Fangs. Barely slipping away. Now Ink have this whole site to themselves. A lot of angles for them to watch, though.
They gave up space. They have no clue where anyone's holding.
Just waiting for the flood. Emmy spots out 1 over towards Waterfall. Ooh, a great first shot there. And now it's immediately down to Fangs in a 1 versus 3 again. First kill on the board, but you have a very difficult crossfire to break.
going out.
The smoke goes out. Oh no, Frostallion in a great spot. The TP doesn't go through and Fangs goes down.
Alrighty, that is a massive swing back into the favor of Ink Bloom. They pick up a second round. Now, that being said, as of right now, no team has been able to put together 3 rounds in a row. It's been trading 2 rounds back and forth. The only reason that Ink have had the lead throughout is because they also picked up that pistol round. So that pistol round has been massively crucial. But again, every round that Exolved picks up here is even more terrifying for Ink Bloom. This, again, is a map where you're kind of expected to get like 7-8 rounds on this attack side. So if they end up not getting towards that 7-8 marker, they're definitely going to be a little wary once they switch over to the defense. It's much more difficult to hold on this map than it is to attack onto the site. That being said, a lot of space taken by Pangolin over on C by Mound, all the way pushed up practically to the attacker spawn. Meanwhile, Spike sitting in B, but 3 sitting on presence right outside of rubble. Door's going to be broken. B is going to be the hit. There's no one currently there.
Yeah, looking to exploit B again. Time and time again, Ink has claimed the B site. Taking round after round. Now the flood comes through. Frostallion with the round opener, taking down Fangs. Pangolin, quick to get back on the board, though. That flank is going to be huge. It turns some crosshairs around, but they're trying to funnel through door. Bubblegum Wizard shutting it down. Pangolin not letting Frostallion get away with it again. Barely dodges the paint shells, and Madeline whiffs the shots, and now I think Pangolin might be looking to save here. Yeah, a lot to contest with. Peeks into Bubblegum, who takes it down. Now we see a showstopper online as well. Finally 3 in a row.
Yeah, very scary one. That is a massive space-taking tool that we saw used to great effect. It did not win them the round last time, though. But you definitely hope that Bubblegum was able to do a little bit more. I will say, very scary right now. The entirety of Inkbloom is actually really carrying their weight. We definitely saw, I think it was Rose had a little bit of a lower KDA in game number 1. But there was a pretty big discrepancy between like 3rd and 4th. But this time around, everyone's within like 2-3 kills of each other to start this off. So everyone is kind of firing on full cylinders for Inkbloom. It does not seem like a one woman affair here. So Inkbloom hitting stride exactly when they need to. They've won now 3 in a row. They've got 6 on the board. If they can get one more round, I think I would be very happy with the outcome of it. If they can get to 8, that would be ideal, but that might be asking a lot from them. I think 7 is the goal for Inkbloom at this current moment.
Yeah. Fangs has really just been holding the weight of the team. It just, but Madeline is always a threat to come online. Lena, Bubblegum, 2 quick kills. Fangs and Madeline quick to answer, but still the number advantage goes towards Inkbloom. Now, Steel Garden ripping through C-Site. Fangs has to fall back. Showstopper as well. And the Paranoia. Anyone left on site would be ripped apart. From the shadows, the TP towards backside now. Both members coming from different angles. Pangolin, the opportunity for a great kill here. Thinks about the ult, but doesn't invest it. A second for Pangolin. A great shot there. Now we see the teleport from Frostallion come out. But there's so many angles for them to watch here. It's going to be a very difficult sight hold.
The read's going to be perfect here from Frostallion.
Ooh, great shot from Pangolin. Finally, Exolved clean it up. Not letting them get 4 rounds in a row. That's a huge defensive win here.
On top of that, that was also a very heavy investment from Inkbloom. I mean, that was 3 ultimates, I think, invested. That was the Into the Shadows, the Steel Garden, and the Showstopper, all used to get onto the site or get off of it once the other 2 fell. That was a lot to invest. I think that saving it Into the Shadows and just trying to fight on C may have been the move for them. But at the end of the day, hindsight's 2020. And with that, that does make it 5-6. Again, 7 is the goal. Inkbloom do have full buy here.
What a quick shot on the Bubblegum. I mean, if you want to shut a push down, it's to do 146 to their main duelist. Good lord. Or sorry, 140. Now Bubblegum has 10 HP. Not a great way to start here for Ink. Emmy once again looking on that mid lurk.
Flash placed.
Bubblegum. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Pangolin doesn't let a repeat happen. Emmy goes down. Now Rose looking once again to lurk over towards that A site. But they have a lot of defensive util to still contest with. Showstopper and Steel Garden both online here. So Rose decides to make a bit of an aggressive push. But it looks like we're going to see an all-out brawl for this A site. Abilities flying every which way. Both ults immediately. Madeline taking down Frostallion. Sayori dropping into sight. All members are clear. Now it's just Lena left alone in a 1 versus 4. Has to try and hold on to Tree, but no, it's cleaned up by Monarchs, and they only lose 1 member.
Wow. 6-6 half. It's definitely not doom and gloom for the side of Inkbloom, but like I said, definitely we're hoping to get a little bit more out of that half, and I think Exolved Monarchs are going to be absolutely thrilled to see that score line. 2 players I've got to shout out. Pangolin, especially in the last 4 or 5, have come alive. The defensive holds from that Vice have been absolutely critical, even getting the final 3 kills in a 2v3 situation. And also was part of the reason they drew so many ults. They have been insane. And Fangs on this Omen, a little bit quiet in game number 1, but man, on Lotus, a lot more impact on this map and is now also sitting at that 13 kill mark. Only 6 deaths as well, the least in the game, tied with Rose.
Whoa. Not anymore.
Yeah,
Rose immediately
and it was
caught
by
off
Fang's
guard.
hands.
Oh, Sayori is looking to punish here. Going straight after. Chasing the enemies out of sight. Now C-Site just immediately is open for Exolved.
Yeah, and the retake is going to be stalled out here because there's just so much pressure and so much aggression coming out from the attack.
Paranoia forcing them off of the line, but they are peeking into 3. Sayori gets a 2 quick kills. Frostallion, the last one left. I mean, we've seen some crazy flanks happen, but it's going to be a lot harder in a 1 versus 4. Positioning is in a difficult spot. Fang spots him out in the smoke. So how did he? Okay, they went down. They went down, but that definitely felt like they were dodging some bullets there.
They're dancing in the smoke, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but they just didn't sting anyone. They couldn't get a kill, but they at least survived for a very long time there, as Exolved Monarchs are the first to draw blood here. And because there's no buyout from Inkbloom, it's almost certainly going to be a second round on the board. They're going to take the lead here early on into the second half. Going to give themselves a really good position to possibly close out both this game and this series. A lot of rifles invested, high penetration rifles as well. So no small walls are safe. Pangolin is on the backside.
Okay. A great spot here to finish it off. Oh, isn't able to capitalize. A 4th! Pangolin, how do you get away with this? Frostallion, finally, all 5 members needed to take down just Pangolin, but immediately this round has gone the way of Ink, and they don't even get anything with that Outlaw. Wow.
Make them think.
Remember when I was like, Pangolin is kind of coming online here, looking a little scary? Yeah, they're a little scary, by the way. I don't know if that's been noted.
You've got the
and
script.
they are, yeah, they check the script and they're seeing how it's unfolding and they're feeling very confident with it. But they're also going to pick up a Bulldog off of that. It does look like Sayori is going to be the one rocking the pistol, which has a lot of damage in her kit, so I'm not too surprised. Okay, they are going to be rocking the Stinger. So pretty heavy investment, but not too bad coming out from Exolved, but it is practically a full buy, only 1 light shield in the hands of Rose coming out from this defensive Inkbloom side. As we do see Evolved, because they know they're on the lower buy, are playing a lot safer, more of a default here, more like a 1-3-1 or a 2-2-1. Yeah, 2-2-1. But mostly pushed up pretty heavily into B, and that smoke is actually going to just give them an entry rather than cut off signs or sight lines for this defense.
Yeah, that smoke is really helping them here. Although I don't know if they're gonna really get anything from it. Oh.
And that was Spike. Why? You had Spike. Madeline.
Yeah, I mean, they get lucky they still have it, but that was very, very close to just ending the round immediately.
Oh,
I don't even know. Did they set off the Vice wall? I don't even think they did.
I think they
30
did.
seconds left.
No, they didn't. Never mind. No, they
No, Vice wall is still there. Frostallion in a great spot for the Rebel push. The read is there. Oh no, Pangolin immediately shut down. Toru gets 1. Frostallion gets away. Toru 2 with that Phantom, that hero rifle online. Maybe they get a couple more kills here, but the time is really ticking down. Emmy, a great spot. Toru tries to get it down, but Frostallion puts an end to it.
I got so confused there. I forgot that there was a skin that basically just makes the Vandal look like a FAMAS. I was like, this isn't CSGO. Why is that gun in this game? No, but that is the round going over to Inkbloom. It's exactly what we expected. There was a little bit of damage done by Exolved, but overall, it's not too big. A pretty heavy buyback in from Frostallion, but Rose is still sitting on 26. We do see, yet again, another mostly full buy. It's regen shields and Bulldog in the hands of Sayori, but practically a full buy coming out from Exolved. They'll be feeling a lot better, which is why we see this aggression, and the paint shells find one immediately.
That's exactly what you want. Oh no, it's the inverse of last enemy. Oh lord, that Vice Wall is just tearing apart Monarchs time after time after time. 4 versus 4. Pangolin has been the difference maker, and it does let Emmy start to work their way back on maybe a bit of a flank here.
Or at least a very aggressive and deep play into main, because right now though, it looks like they're stalled out on A. Just breaking door and going to B is an option here. So if that Vice continues to play back towards main, that could be a means of a squeeze. But actually, it looks like the attack still won A site, despite the fact that the rotations have come through.
Ooh, Madeline sniffs out Frostallion, and a quick second. The scales have immediately tipped. Now Rose and Emmy, the last ones alive. Emmy makes their presence known, takes down Madeline. 2 versus 3. Both players split up, so they have to watch a couple separate angles, but they have a pretty strong hold here in Tree. Toru gets away with it. 3 kills, 9-7. Exolved are making it happen.
Yeah, like I said, this is the attack side of map. They're looking very good. And because Emmy is still sitting in A main, the fact that the rotate didn't come over to B actually hurts the team a lot, as it's a very delayed push out from the Vice. They get overwhelmed on site because it was a 3-on-3, which they lose. In the great words of Bren, you get shot, you die. And no matter what position you're holding on A, if you don't win the gunfights, you don't win the fights. And just like that, 9 rounds on the board here for Exolved, looking to want to close this out. Again, more very aggressive pushes from Rubble into A.
Cover going out.
They're up against, Inkbloom don't have a very good buy here. They've got 2 sheriffs, which we've seen stuff happen before, but Exolved are pretty good at picking up these anti-eco rounds. So we'll just need to see if they can keep it up, although they are playing very passively. And Rose, I mean, I don't know if it's the caster's curse or what, but as soon as I'm talking about Exolved being good at this, they get shut down by a sheriff. Still, the round isn't out of their hands just yet. They are looking to make a move on to B. Haunt comes out, gets destroyed. Paranoia stalls the push, and Emmy. Oh no, the tides are turning here. Bangs finally picks up a kill for Exolved. Toru close behind. And it's stalled out, but you still got to worry about Frostallion over on that A side. Maybe a bit of a fake tap here.
30 seconds left.
Yeah,
oh no, someone has to clear Tree.
1 or 2.
Someone has to clear it.
Not again.
Oh no way! No way! No way! How do they do this every time?
Oh, the coach is gonna have a field day. If this was football, they would be running suicides for the rest of the night. They can't let them keep getting away with this. They will stop the defuse, but my god, how? Again? What? How?
They went to clear it. They went to clear it. They
jump peeked the clear for no reason.
I don't know it. I don't even know. It's like, I don't know what's worse, when people don't check a defuse, or if it's just Frostallion keeps getting away with it.
There.
And so I said before, at some point, this has to be criminal, right? This has to be at some point. They do have a bit of a change of a strategy, though. It does look like Exolved making their way onto Heap, and it's a full 4 push. They have the Viper sitting in the back, still waiting for possibly a flank, but they're not going to find anything. Just a very quick rotate as they very quickly push on and take so much space on site.
Yeah, Fangs and Sayori quickly getting into sight, but especially over on C, you gotta watch out for the retake. I mean, you're going up against the Steel Guard and the Fade ult, so you have to take space, which is exactly what they're doing. Fade ult ripping through, now a 3 versus 3. 3 versus 2, Emmy gets another. Toru cleans it up, 2 versus 2. It's coming down to the wire. Still a lot of time for the defenders to work with to try and get this retake. Steel Garden comes out. Sayori is going to be able to dodge it. Through looking to hide on sight. It all comes down to Sayori, but Emmy, with eyes in the back of their head, swings and secures the round. We are tied once again.
This is an absolute
This is
duel,
where someone
as
says
neither
something
team is
pithy and
willing
pretends
to
to
give
tolerate them.
up. Right, I mean,
Go
it was
ahead.
6-6
I
at the
need a
end of the
weapon.
first half. Since then, it's 3-3. Both teams are having spectacular moments and hero plays. And honestly, at times for
Now we
Inkbloom,
win.
it seems like just pure luck at times, but they're capitalizing on it, which is the most important aspect of luck. They are winning the rounds in which they are getting a little bit of grace sent their way. And because of that, they're in this game and they're still giving Exolved the run for their money. That being said, Exolved are in a rough spot yet again. Only one rifle Pangolin with the solo Guardian has to try to find something here as a full buyout from InC. Heavy shields, Vandals, and Phantoms across the board.
Yeah, you know, if you want the rifle in anyone's hands, it's Pangolin or Fangs. But you're up against a very insurmountable wall here. Although, I feel like every time I say that, somehow, some way, that team ends up winning. Whichever team shouldn't be winning somehow finds a way. But, double smoke there.
Okay. It does look like it is a pack mentality over on A. 4 push. There are 2, and it's actually the Viper and the Vice. Probably the 2 best defenders on this defensive side.
Showstopper barely takes the hair off of Emmy. Rose looking to try and hold the drop, but the Stinger is so good in that close range. Oh no, Sayori's gonna die for their greed. The Primal Sin. Pangolin takes it down. The second Showstopper back online doesn't get Pangolin. How do they survive? Okay, Bubblegum cleans it up. Frostallion? I think Frostallion was just born to be a smoke player. Now Viper's Pit, still huge to come up against, but Exolved has really turned this round around. A fake from Bubblegum Wizard. Forces the check. Frostallion goes down, and Exolved come away with... How? How does it keep happening? Every time it looks like a team as their, you know... As their coffin nailed shut, they just come back. Am I crazy?
I actually really like that play. The Viper's Pit into more of a default setup, but the spike is planted actually away from them, which causes confusion from Inkbloom. Now, this could be me talking out of my butt. They could have absolutely just misplanted. But the fact that it's not planted for default, but the smoke is down for default, causes confusion, which is why they tap it. They don't go for the hold. And because of that, the last 2 remaining play really far off and kind of wait to wrap around and catch them while they've been in that Viper smoke for so long. And they take so much extra damage that despite the fact they have pistols, let's go to the first round, it doesn't matter because the health bars are so low.
Yeah, now Pangolin and Emmy once again duking it out. Both Vices holding it down for the team, but every member of Exolved is falling apart. Sayori quick to try and bring them back into it, though. Ooh, and Madeline peeks at just the right time. Oh, a second! I was so worried about getting a little overzealous there, but Madeline makes a play when it's needed most. Somehow, we go from 5v5 to 5 versus 2 to 2 versus 1, and it's just, we're straight back into it. Oh, what a door tap. To fake it out, Madeline. That was a bit of a roller coaster of a round there.
A little bit BM there. A little bit of BM there from Madeline, but at the end of the day, they've been playing extremely well, so you got to give them a little bit of leeway. And yet again, ZK1 giving their team the timeout. That is very fair. They are in a little bit of a rough position. Exolved have put 2 more rounds back on the board, but again, we've only seen one of these teams put more than 2 rounds in a row on the board, and it was in fact Ink Bloom. So they should be feeling pretty good, though they are a little bit on the low buy. I do think this is almost certainly more about the mental. They do have the advantage of having that Viper's Pit. That Viper's Pit, I imagine, is going to be a big piece of the puzzle for this round. So if that Viper goes down early, I do fear for them a little bit, but if they can keep the Viper alive, expect it to be a big difference maker in the closing moments.
Yeah, they have the round disadvantage, but, just being able to sort of put a dent in the bank of Exolved would be super huge for them. Although, they're not out yet, but I am pretty worried. Especially, you said it time and time again, this is an attack-sided map. So they really have a lot to worry about. I feel like it's just... But I don't know at this point. I feel like everything I say, it always is wrong. It's just like, oh, Exolved are really looking to be out of this round, and then they, completely come back and win it.
Absolutely. This is a big defining round for both of these teams. Exolved really looking to kind of not put the final nail in the coffin, but get the lid on the coffin here as they're looking for that map and series point round. Meanwhile, Inkbloom, if they win this round, there's not a lot of money left for Exolved. So if they win this round somehow, despite being at the gun disadvantage, they'll be putting Exolved in a really rough spot. It will be 10-11, and they could capitalize on it and bring it back 11-11, which at that point cracks the whole game wide open. So this feels like the pivot. This is the round in which the game truly starts coming to the end game.
Oh, Pangolin, huge opening pick there. Still have a hero rifle online for Bubblegum Wizard, but this is where it happens. This is where legends are made. Back against the wall, you have to make something happen. Emmy gets the opening kill. 2 versus 4. They are contained that C site. Frostallion and Bubblegum Wizard. We've seen Frostallion work some magic, and Bubblegum Wizard has a Vandal to work with, which I don't know if Exolved know Ink have to work with. But the positioning is so good. No free picks available here. Time is ticking down. Oh no, it's all closing in. Madeline, what a shot! Are you kidding me?
Madeline has not been the top fragger for this team. It's still up there. 17 kills just put them tied second. But Madeline still has been getting so many impact plays that their team has really been benefiting off of. They have been a massive playmaker for the entire series at this point now. So huge play for Madeline there to get them, again, to map in series point. Just a second time this game we've seen them, any team, put more than 2 rounds in a row together. We do see aggression coming out from Inkbloom, trying to take some control here, especially towards Rubble. And they actually do it on both sides. The Viper's Pit is invested on Heap, and the Rubble control taken from the Omen and the Rays does mean that B is going to be wide open, and they're going to have this read. They're just going to run in. Lena single-handedly is going to try to do what they can. Vicewell is going to be popped. But actually, it looks like it might be just a tease. They make a lot of noise, they pop the wall, then they rotate off. But the rotate hasn't really come through from the defense. There's still 2 sitting right by Rubble.
There's an op in the hands of Pangolin. I hope the changeup doesn't mess anything up. A triple blind, and Bubblegum gets a free kill onto Madeline. That's exactly the way you want to open the round. But Toru is online with a double kill. Frostallion brings down that duelist, and we see the Steel Garden come out. But no one really there to capitalize off of it. 3 versus 3, and Op still online. I believe I heard a shot go off. So Ink might know that they have to worry about that. They are spread thin, though.
30 seconds left.
The Steel Garden did a very good job at stalling out the push. It also means that the defense has pulled away. Viper's still sitting all the way on C. It's going to be a very long rotate here. If this attack side gets 1 more kill, 1 more frag before the rotate's finished, they could be in a really good position. Emmy's pushed really far as well.
10 seconds
Oh,
left.
Lord. Emmy tries to make a play there, but the timing just isn't right. And now we're left in a 2v3 for match point to try and keep the game alive. The flash finds both. Pangolin missing by a hair. Arc Rose is down. Pangolin ready on that line. Gets a leg shot onto Rose. Health is dwindling down for the members of InC. Pangolin left alone. Lena finds the kill you need, but Pangolin cleans it up with the operator. We see it go to Exolved Monarchs in a quick 2-0 fashion. Although the rounds were pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those tales that you can't really be told by just looking at the score line. Because, like, obviously, in in week number 1, you know, a 13-4 score line, you can figure out what happens there. But here, despite it being 2-0, if you actually sat down and watched or even looked at the round counts, you would know InC Bloom were definitely not pushovers. I mean, massive, sending over to 2 overtimes. If that map of Ascent just happens to not end with that very rough defensive hold for them, and they're able to win it out, they take Ascent, who knows what that momentum would have brought into this game. If they had just a little bit of a better attack side, who knows what could have happened. This is a game of what ifs, but InC Bloom, despite being on the losing end, should be leaving with their heads held high, because those what ifs all lead to them very easily having a chance of winning this series against a very good Exalted Monarchs.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I think you wrapped it up extremely well, but I just wanted to highlight, I think that my favorite part is just that we see different players, you know, Frostallion and Madeline, the MVPs from last game, both doing extremely well, you know, going positive. Frostallion had some plot armor moments in there, but, you know, we see both Vices stepping up, Emmy and Pangolin, really showing that the rosters for these teams go deep. You have skilled players in every single position. And, you know, you talk about it with that first map, but just 1 or 2 rounds going the other way, and we'd be looking at going into Haven right now to watch, you know, series point. But just great play from both teams, and they both had very unique play styles on either side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is going to be pretty much it. That very impressive game for both teams. InC Bloom narrowly miss out. Exolved Monarchs 2-0 both weeks, going 2-0 up in series as well. Puts them at the top of their group. Very good performance. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Flail, any final words before we send it off?
No, I mean, hey, this is the Valorant you're here to see. These are close games, double overtime. I mean, you got to stick around for the next games. Check into the next broadcast. You're going to see more great Valorant like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe regular weekday casts are on Thursday, so you can go check us out on the Tenax Twitch, same place you're watching it here on Thursdays, where you can watch even more amazing Valorant. But that's all we got for you. My name is Soren. Join me with Flaylin. Also behind the desk for the prod is Multitudes, who's doing this at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So massive shout outs to him for putting in the grit and determination to get this production on. Massive shout out to you, but of course, massive shout out to the players as well for putting on good shows. We can't wait to see you next week. See you on Thursday. Have a wonderful night.